My Inquisitor has made it round, which means my Conquistador can now do severe damage. Yes. Oh, Pharaoh will be mine. Resources are a problem though, because I can't use my faith. So I've been saving my faith because I was going to do a huge troop purchase, but I've got so many pagodas that I can pop down. You start asking yourself, why am I not? Let's get the temples, let's go the pagodas, and we're going to watch my diplomatic favor per turn start to really rise up. Eventually I'll make all the faith back, you know? It's not forever. I want to make sure that the peace deal that I put through is well and truly in my favor. Now, I'm not going to take this city in a peace deal, but if I'm occupying it for the purposes of a peace deal, then I think, you know, we might get some leverage. Oh, that's so strong. Okay, they're assaulting me from a lot of directions now, but my Conquistadors, it stood there and took a Curacao. No, it wasn't a Curacao, it was a Corsa hit, and it destroyed it in one go. That's how strong these things are. They're amazing. Even better, if I capture a city with them, it converts immediately to my religion. So I don't even need to use one of my incredibly overpowered Inquisitors. Honestly, the main question I've got is whether or not I continue pillaging for a little while before I take the city. Because the city's clearly mine and my troops are clearly overpowered. So do I just rub in the advantage a little bit and really get some pillaging going, kill a few units? Gotta believe that the correct answer to that is yes. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do. Okay, this frigate's gonna stay behind and do a little bit of pillaging, whilst another one at the back shoots once, twice, and Conquistador comes in and takes Pharaoh. Our first target, our colonies, oh yes, are taken. And look, because we converted it at the same time, we get a bit of era score. Plus, we also get a builder, because technically I have a new city on another continent. Oh, I like that. I like that a lot. I might have to put my builder card back in, actually. Republican Legacy is really useful. I do like that card, but I might have to take it out. No, I don't need builders right now. It's not my priority. I love these games when there's about 500 things that grab your attention, and you're like, any one of these could be really good. Lots of pillaging, lots of pillaging. There you go. Just brings the city defenses down a little bit. These traders, oh, I really want to go and pillage those, but I need to promote this unit first. +7, there you go. It's just holding the line nicely against the Portuguese Navy, which has been sunk almost entirely. Their military strength is almost down to half of what it was at the beginning of this war. So whatever we're doing, it's working well. What did I say? 700 military strength. No, Portugal's now down to 493. And a city taken from France with loyalty. We did want this one to happen. And it's even got a trade route for me. So I can send that immediately back to Madrid, make some really, really good, fun food and production. I've even got a mission that I can work for more faith. Up to almost 500 faith per turn. And I've got 11 pagodas, which are giving me 11 diplomatic favor per turn at the moment. Oh, just beautiful. It's exactly what you want to see. 1, 2, 3, 4 movement, pillage to full health. Oh, there's something about the raid card and boats and fishing boats and fisheries. Such a good little combination of things you can pick up. I reckon Guarda's not going to take long to destroy though, because I've got quite a frigate presence. In fact, there is a good chance I might even do it this turn. I'll hit there, and then I'll hit that. You know what? I even will. We're going to just take a couple of trade routes till they disappear, and then that city falls as well. That is nonsense. 2 turns until the peace deal with Portugal. Interesting. I've got 185 grievances now. That is starting to weigh on people's opinions of me. I don't really want to get much worse than this, to be honest with you. So I think I've got the sort of level of diplomacy right on this playthrough, actually. You know, trying to just push off the grievances a little bit, make sure we're not doing that too much. Get out of here. God, it's just like all the religion. Stop it. Stop sending it to me. As exploration, I might need the building card, the boats a little bit later. I don't know at the moment, but you can never write it off. Tell you what, I need some wonders. I really need some wonders to get more cards in my government, because there's just too much stuff, like scripture for 40 faith per turn. You can't say no to that level. I'm going to put in colonial offices though. 15% faster growth and 3 loyalty per turn in cities not on my continent. That's big. With my governor titles and that, I've now got 39.6%, as long as it's not on my continent. I was thinking about building Casa, and then I realized I put my government plaza in totally the wrong place, so I can't. So what are you going to do? Tell you what, whilst Portugal controls Gibraltar, it's very tough. I can't actually move my navy through. This encampment is beautifully placed. Absolutely beautifully placed. There's nothing I can do. Not without getting too close to Porto, which I really don't want to do. But it means I've kind of secured behind it. This is all now absolutely unequivocally my land. Nothing that Portugal can do about that. I still can't get over these routes. 7 food, 8 production to Madrid. Just all of my new cities are just turbocharged right from turn 1, and missions if they're not on my continent as well. Really, really handy. Did I get that wrong? Line infantry might be able to pop over actually, so just build a couple of defenses, stop them from getting through. Don't leave trade routes. That's a bad move. 160. God, they're so good. Man, I'd like Colossus. Oh, I just want to steal it all, but I can't. I must be restrained. Must be careful. We've got one more pillage there. Can make peace in 2 turns time, I believe. Which would be better for building settlers in Madrid? A +2 industrial zone right before I pick up industrialization, or an encampment that is being powered by Valletta and Granada as well as Preslav. I think it's got to be an encampment because I can put the industrial zone next. So yeah, this is what I'm going to do. Absolutely going to do this. I'll buy a tile. There's a couple of workable tiles over there. Oh, no, that I can just take from Las Palmas. Plonk the encampment down. Okay, perfect. Yeah, that'll be good. Then I can just put an armory in that city really quickly and make it so. And one of the things I like to do on this channel is just thank the Patreon and Coffee supporters that really do help this sort of thing to be made by naming units after them. So we're just going to do a quick little bit of naming. I've got a few level 2 troops I've noticed that have been spawning. So we've got Silver and Guberman. You are both conquistadors of considerable power, actually, so don't let that go to your head. Garrett Gowan, you are a caravel. Hold the pass. Don't let Gibraltar fall. And finally, we have Polar Wola Bear, Dr. Bobby, Skeptical Bear. You represent the arsenal of my naval fleet, the cannons that are causing me to push Portugal back. So hold the line. So Portugal is offering to make peace. Well, that's great, but that's not going to stop me stealing their settler. So the question is whether or not a good, favourable peace deal would be possible now. The answer to that is yes. They will give me all of their gold per turn. Every single piece of it. They are that desperate for peace. In fact, I'm going to ask for all the copies of their luxuries. There is no reason to do this, by the way. No reason whatsoever, but I'm doing it because I can. Oh, can I take Odyssey? No, I can't take the Odyssey. So they are offering peace. That's not going to stop me, again, from just having some fun by doing a little bit of last-minute pillage. See, look, humanism was stuck in their art museum. Why would I not do that? I could take the city and then give it back to them, but if they're already offering me everything they have in a peace deal, you have to ask yourself, am I really going to get anything more from this? Oh, I like that. I just converted their city by blasting one of their religious units. Yeah, there you go. Okay, I'll take peace. That was a very good war. We have absolutely bankrupted Portugal. We've stolen 2 of their most powerful colonies to add up to mine. And we've left their lands, I say alone. I mean, I ransacked them a little bit, but otherwise they're pretty as they were. So I haven't taken anything too bad. There are 294 grievances at the moment for Portugal. That's a lot. I've got to let those go down. I've got to have a passage of play now where I behave myself. One thing I could do is I could liberate this city. That would remove some, but I've only got 2 turns to do that. I've kind of left that a little bit late. There you go. Wars of Religion. I can take that off now. Raid, I can take that off. Let's instead put in some progressive cards that might help my empire a little bit more. Veterancy has always got to go back in. It's such a good card, and I'm gonna put conscription in for a little bit of gold. I mean, it doesn't feel like a very good use of it. Equestrian orders, I'm still selling all my horses, so if I can sell more, I shall sell more. Colonial officers is just helping the growth of my cities until I can get a better card. That works nicely, and I think Republican legacy works well as well. So settlers, natural philosophy, I really want the builder card in. That would be good, but alas, I don't have the government capacity for that right now. This is kind of the reason I really would have liked to have the builder card in, because I am still settling cities. It's a sprawling empire, it's a 5-pop city, but unfortunately these builders, they have a measly 3 charges each. It's terrible. And one thing I do want to do, especially because actually there's multiple sources of iron, I reckon strategics are going to be abundant around here. Once we get coal, we'll know better, but I want to settle around Braga so that loyalty-wise, Portugal can't hang on to it. I'm really tempted to settle into the European, like Sicily, Corsica, Sardinia, but it's all technically part of Southern Europe. So Africa is probably the better place, but it's just a lot of this African continent is mostly desert. It's not actually that good. Well, I can start my trades to Lisbon again now. Do we just start trading with Portugal? It is tempting, isn't it? Oh, one thing I am going to do, just stop doing listening post and siphon funds. Yeah, let's gain some sources, and then we're going to start siphoning funds. I want more spies. More. I think developing my colonies is more exciting for me. So I'm going to focus my traders very much on internal routes still, just making Madrid the center of attention. So we might be generating a couple more grievances with Portugal now, unfortunately, because we're settling by them and they really don't like that either. And there's a couple of denouncements. Some people didn't like that, the Ottomans and Greece, but everyone else we've captured into an eternally binding friendship agreement that they can't get out of right now. And whilst I have 344 grievances with Portugal, they are retreating at 6 per turn. I need to just work on that a little bit. If they denounce me or do anything like that, then we can get them to retreat a little quicker. But yeah, very good. Now, I have to say, Rome, you've been a fantastic ally. You can have the Research Alliance, definitely. Gaul is a much better military ally. Germany, you've been terrible. Oh, there's a simple pleasure to these trade routes. I know there are better gold routes, but I love it. I do. Trade routes to my own cities provide more gold. That is a merchant I want, especially because mercantilism is a good boost for me because that's what I was working on. Merchants in this game are going to be increasingly useful, I believe. So we'll keep an eye on stuff. Now, I don't expect a war with Portugal to be that easy again, necessarily. I think Renaissance wars are only a matter of time here. Lisbon already has them. So next time we arrive in Portugal, we're going to be met with a lot stiffer resistance. Oh, I actually bought that to exactly 0 faith. That's satisfying. World religion, it was Confucianism last time, so I'll put both my votes in on that. And immunities are always a difficult one to predict. Just whatever's at the bottom. Amber. Looks like amber is the one at the bottom, so we'll just say no to amber. That's often what the AI votes for. Yep, amber. Eastern Orthodoxy this time. Okay. And Bologna has flipped to me. Thank you, France, for another city. Beautiful to see this join my empire. Stable in Madrid. Armory in Madrid. University in Madrid. Oh, the spoils of war coming in very handy now. What's my settler like? 4 turns still on making settlers. Yep. This is exactly what Madrid does. I'm sorry, Madrid. One day you'll get to do something different. Not any day soon, but one day. And now we're meeting the last few people. Arabia, hello. Honor to meet you. I'm going to have to try and just be... Yeah, I don't like all the grievances. This is probably a bad time to discover the last few civs. I need the era score though, so might have to. 0.5 gold for each specialty district at the destination. Well, Madrid has 5 specialty districts, so in theory, my routes should go up to 2.5 gold more. Yeah, it's actually quite a nice little boost. And 2 envoys into Jerusalem quickly gives me +3 faith on all my pagodas. Oh, that was a big chunk of faith. Nice. There's industrialization. Let's see how lucky we've got with coal. I'm hoping we've got quite a bit of land. So, yep, there's a... Okay, right, we've put an improvement on that doesn't work, but that's fine. That's the thirst source. Then we've got one under a lumber mill. Oh, it's always typical, isn't it? Go fix that. This one's under a holy site, that's good. And oh, my capital has one under an encampment, even better. Just gonna go steam power and then electricity to get seaports because, I mean, shipyards are already an amazing building for me. Might as well just keep improving them. And another commercial hub, focusing on trade routes. Yeah, gold-focused Spain is a lot of fun. I want to play with the governors more. I've so many options and I could see them being really, really handy. So I need to go down the civic tree as much as I can. So what I was thinking is that the game has a huge amount of the writers taken, like every single one. I think all the great people in the game so far have been produced. There's a lot of culture in the game. So I'm going to focus on building some theatre squares now. I have quite a few campuses. I've got quite a few holy sites. A lot of the stuff producing all of these stats for me. But I need spaces for great works of writing. Then I can really focus on getting some culture. Like that as an idea. I think, yeah, heavy culture Spain. Oh, I'll tell you what I was going to do. Also resource-rich Spain. Let's see where the coal is. There's some there. Oh, I was actually going to go and settle over in this direction anyway. That is a very unfortunate space, though, because I was going to put a campus on that one. That would have been a +6. Oh, that's really annoying. Fine, doesn't matter. I'll settle on the desert instead. But where else? Oh, yeah, right. So that is the space. Okay, so we are going to go and settle around Braga like we wanted to. Looks like Sicily is absolutely where we need to go. Steam Victoria. Oh, no. Oh, thank goodness it's not Elizabeth. That's all I'm saying. We can get friendship with England immediately. Oh, another alliance. Yeah, I'm taking it. How is England doing? If we met Scotland, 41 population, 6 cities. It's a weird how early we met Scotland compared to England. Some of the things that I'm looking at in terms of scaling with these governor titles are things like the Cardinal. Doesn't seem too good to start with, just grants you a bit of faith. But +1 faith in cities, and cities following my founded religion generate 1 culture and 1 immunity. This is huge. Anything that gives an immunity to all my cities is really cool. Plus power grids, powered cities providing 2 immunities. I like the sound of that as well. Wagon trains in the merchant. Now this is really cool as well. 1 food and 1 production from every domestic trade route. I have a lot of those. Gonna pop in diplomatic league very temporarily, because I've got some envoys to spend, and Preslav, because, I mean, I've got the double up in Madrid at the moment. I've got the diplomatic quarter and encampment, so getting Preslav on side means that I could get +4 production, +5 production towards settlers. Big deal, but also there's a load of science city-states, and I quite like those on side as well. I have quite a few libraries, so let's put 1 into Preslav and 2. That'll give me the 3 in Preslav just to give me a little bit more production. We're up to 85 now? No, 92. Oh, that's big. And then after that, we'll work on the best bits we can for science. Well, as discussed, I think this is the time to get theatre squares in. So we're going to start just popping these down on random tiles. It's all about the great work adjacencies. Well, the great works rather than the adjacencies. That's what I mean. Oh, there's 2 sources of coal down here. Oh, that's nice. I've decided I want to be the coal king. It's my job. Own all the coal ever. Mwah. Okay, no military emergency at me just yet, which is nice. I don't mind that at all. I was worried that something might appear in my direction. Just spending a little bit of faith here and there to get boosts. That's 1 trebuchet, and here is a 2nd. Yeah, it's just 1 turn's worth of science, but it makes a difference in the long run. And wabam! Yay! More cities is always a good thing. I realised I gave Portugal open borders, didn't I? There's a settler appearing. Where are you going, Portugal? Cyrus. Hello. -3. They don't mind the grievances at all. They're like, sure, whatever. Feel like I always get on well with Persia in Civ 6. Their goals are so akin to the sort of chaos I like to live by. Babylon, nice to meet you. They do care about the grievances, but I mean, maybe if we send them an embassy and some open borders, they may forget about them for long enough, but I think the most likely thing to happen is Portugal goes into a dark age, loses loyalty on their city here, which is right on the border, and they're in a golden age and they've only got 5 loyalty in it, so that'll flip, and then I can go and liberate it and get rid of the grievances that way. That might be clever. I like the sound of that. Have I ever told you how much I like missions? Oh yeah. Okay, it's not super close to the coal, but I've got the gold to buy the tiles, so bam, let's just put Manila there. Yeah, additional grievances. This is really annoying. It's like, Portugal, I'm nowhere near you. You're like, well, okay, I am near you, but this is my city soon to be, okay? Let's just accept that. And I could liberate that city, then that would give me, you know, quite a few grievances off, but the problem is, then it would just generate more grievances each time I settle near it, so you gain a little to lose a lot in the long run. I don't know, might not be the best idea. Still though, more cities are going down, and with everyone, oh, there's more coal. With everyone I settle, Portugal hates me just a little bit more, just a smidge more. Okay, so strangely enough, Lisbon's gold hasn't quite restored itself just yet, but it will do eventually. So I'm going to start siphoning funds from them. 1,200 gold. It's not a bad amount. And once Portugal really does start to build up their trade routes again, which they may take a little bit of time to do, especially because Portugal has actually made a pretty poor job at going and meeting everyone. Eventually they'll sort it out. Another spy. That's spy number 2. So I think it's probably worth continuing to send them to Portugal, but what we're going to do is we're just going to have a look at the commercial hubs that I can send to, and we'll just have a quick peek and see which one's generating the most gold, because if there's anything that rivals Portugal, then I of course can go there, but I mean, no, there's absolutely not. Portugal is 100% the place to go. Well, we've got steam power. You know what that means? Railroad time. And I really do need railroads because my settlers are still being pumped out of Madrid every 4 turns, which is really good, but they need to be able to get shuttled to somewhere to settle. Actually, there looks like a couple of places in Europe I could go and settle just to really push my borders out in this direction. Especially with Hicksonk Dracones, that's not a bad idea. So, okay, let's start then to build some military military engineers. Quite expensive, but they're worth it, because railroads, as we all know, are the best improvement in Civ 6, and no one can argue otherwise, because why would you do anything else? 43 science per turn is really big, but when I've got 272, I'm wondering if that's the best thing that I could be doing. Triangular trade would give me a lot more gold and faith, but again, I've got a lot of that stuff. Public works, man, lots of things pulling me in a lot of different directions, but I have another governor now. It is tempting to build towards harbours and harbour buildings and to go down ports of call for food and production in my cities. I don't know if that's the best thing to do. Again, it is tempting for Spymaster to make my spies operate better, but I'm not really utilising them as much as I could right now. Getting another merchant and having extra from food and production for domestic trade routes. I mean, I've got 16 trade routes up and running at the moment. That's really quite exciting. I think I might go cardinal. Get an extra faith, an extra culture, and an extra amenity in every single city. That's the sort of thing that stacks up really quickly. I'm going to just dive into that. Let's get the cardinal going. So we just need one more governor title to make that perfect nationalism. We'll work towards that in a little bit, but I'm just going to unlock water parks to try and keep my nation happy. Hey, that helps. Look at that. Portugal has denounced me. Yay! It's a few grievances less. Not many, but a few. 25. It's 4 turns worth of improvement. My first amphitheatres are appearing as well. So this is where I really hope that I was right on the fact that people are selling books of writing. There should be loads on the map, and hopefully the AI, there's at least a couple that don't value them very highly. Oh, my good friend Rome. 111 gold for a book. You know what? That's lovely. That's a sort of deal. So it's another 4 culture per turn. I'm making sure that every city has a monument. I'm starting to put Alcazars down. But you can still never be too careful. And yeah, still pumping settlers out everywhere I can. If a city's got nothing else to do, guess what? It's settler time. Oh, hello. This is exciting. Okay, the Ottomans and Arabia have both declared war on me on a joint formal war. All right. So Ottomans and Arabia. I'm not entirely sure why they would do that. I haven't really got any interest in any of their cities, or I'm nowhere near them. I guess they can do that because I'm ages away from them. But that's good in the sense that they have generated grievances with me, which means a lot of people have now forgotten quite a few of the grievances I've generated with Portugal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my usual sweep and just see who, if anybody, wants to join in with these wars. A lot of my allies are already in the wars, to be fair. You know, I had been looking for something for my navy to do, and luckily for me, looks like my navy's got something to do. I can also form fleets, so all of my named boats, such as the beautiful Skeptical Bear, you are now much more powerful than before. Now, what was the Armada upgrade for me? That was, oh, it is both with mercantilism, so I could actually make Armadas flat out now. Yeah, that's handy. I like the idea of seaports. That would massively help there, so I'm just going to use some gold to buy a couple of privateers. I can core those together, and there's electricity for the seaports in question. Some very powerful boats that I have now. Excellent stuff. Right, now Potala Palace, I'd like that, and I'd also really like a military academy so I can pray in better units if needed. My first railroad, by the way. We're the first to do it, of course we are. We are the ones that have the true priority. I've got 6 military engineers now. I might go to about 10. Don't think I'll need any more than that. Otherwise, we're going to generate too much of a carbon emissions penalty just by laying railroad. So Cyprus actually counts as Asia, and this would be right next to the AI, and I could loyalty out. So you know what? I'm going for Cyprus. A Spanish Cyprus. That'll act as a really, really nice base of operations for just being able to mess with the people who declared war on me. The Madrid to France border train line is done, so I can actually get my settlers out much quicker than I used to now. Let's go. Yeah, let's go and settle into France. Why not? Astronomy. I need to get Potala Palace if I can. Braga I could liberate, but I don't think I will. I think I'm going to keep it. I thought it was slightly ironic, but I did just purchase in Nelson for Spain. Ignore Trafalgar. It's not going to happen this time, I promise. Let's get Fez and Fez and Bologna. I'm just throwing in envoys everywhere I can. Oh yeah, the libraries are really being boosted. There was a flood in Madrid. If there's ever going to be a good time for a flood, I'm not entirely sure there is a good time for a flood, but if there was, it would be when I had military engineers literally stood on the tiles that flood. It's pretty handy. Well, hey, the gold starts to flow in from Lisbon, and I hopefully can promote to get... no, I'll get a cat burglar. I want a thief, a proper thief. Military Academy is a fantastic pickup, though, and I have a chunk of production for my capital, especially towards settlers when I get to 6 envoys in these... Oh, yeah, Granada's already giving that. Perfect. But I also need an archaeological museum, which I believe is probably best in this city. There you go. Look at all the boosts. Every boost. We want to get them. Next up, let's get chemistry. I've got every boost until enlightenment, neighborhoods, banks. All right, but keep an eye for that stuff. Now, I wonder how much this will be true. It says -20 at the moment, but what it doesn't expect is that I'm going to have 2 population in a golden age, not 1. I'm going to be following my religion, and I'm probably going to be happy. So it may have a slight problem, but I don't think it's going to be -20. Yeah, it's actually -5. That's hard. Oh, that's fine. Yeah, we can keep this under control. Quick monument in there, and granary, and walls. I love just the letter praying everything in is wonderful. Yep, now the religion's factored in. It's only -1.5. I think we should be fine. Yeah, I can't resist all these islands. Like, I'm settling them all. I really shouldn't. Oh, I missed the aid request. Oh, I put 1 gold in it, like I normally do, and it would have been fine, but the CO2 eroded my... Never mind. I wasn't really going for a diplomatic victory, so it's not a problem, but it's quite it's funny how that works. Like, a small piece of CO2 is enough to just totally lose the gold advantage you had, but never mind. My navy is kind of like arriving in the area, but it's mainly this settler, the cheeky settler, making its way up to Cyprus. I intend to settle it. More envoys. This time I'll take Geneva. That's another science and an Akkad. Yeah, okay, so we're just getting all of the envoys with all of the city-states slowly but surely. There's someone else on the map. Can't find them. I think it might be either Georgia or Sumeria. Not sure. Whoever it is, we'll find them eventually. Spain's reach grows into Europe. There's going to be a few people that are a little bit annoyed with me doing this. Santander and Yen, but these aren't on my continent. Actually, this one may be on my continent. Okay, Santander is on my continent. That's annoying. Who am I kidding? It's all good. Yeah, 5 population. And missions. Missions everywhere. Happiness is slightly harder to pull off now, but luckily, we've just unlocked zoos and water parks, which I'm going to pop down now. So this zoo, Las Palmas, works on all of these cities. I then got another one in Toledo, which I can't actually afford, unbelievably. Better get selling some coal. It's what we do best. There we go, like that. Now, a lot of our Spanish sort of central cities will be covered by this, and then we've got the arena being built, a zoo being built down there. So I think we can get to ecstatic cities within about 5 turns. That's what I'm hoping. That's what I'm really, really pushing for. At any rate, Diplomatic League, no longer need that. Colonial taxes, 25% gold, 10% production in all of my non-continent cities. That's really nice. Equestrian orders really is not worth it anymore. It really isn't. I'll put conscription is just not worth it. Logistics. I like logistics. Means all of my builders move around faster. Bologna, Geneva, universities do more. Yeah, 377 science now. That's looking good. Portugal's actually recovered their religion pretty well, which is something. Lisbon's 23 population. Wow, that's big. Must be the biggest in the world. Yes, it is. Largest, 23. Most gold in return as well, 256. Madrid is 6th best though. Slowly getting there. How are all of these undiscovered cities the best? Who is this? How are they doing so well, even though there's an unmet player with 0 score? I don't know what's going on there. Oh, it's just an undiscovered city. It's just that I don't know where the city is. I thought it was actually the whole civ I hadn't met. No. Looks like one of the civs just didn't load in properly. Sometimes it happens on these TSL maps. Not much you can do about that. Don't mind me whilst I just raid your stuff. Oh, it healed it. Oh, the first pillaging you do is always the least entertaining. Honestly, none of the Ottoman cities apart from this one are actually on the coast, which is a bit disappointing. Can't get to any of them with my boats. It's like they knew I was coming. Oh, the Ursa, though. That's something I can shoot at. There you go. The named members shoot and kill a unit. Mwahaha. The world has entered the industrial era. Perfect. And I've got scientific theory sorted as well. What do we go for, though? Portugal is in a dark age. Now, first of all, let's go and see how bad this is for them. Oh, -6. Yep, they're going to lose their city. Porto's going to flip. Lisbon's not doing too badly, but that is quite entertaining. What about France? France is normal age. Rome is Normal age. Okay, nothing crazy exciting going on there. To me, there's a few choices, really. Hic Sunt Dracones means that I continue settling around the map. That is an amazingly useful thing. Heartbeat of Steam is a huge production boost because I have campuses everywhere. To Arms, though, gives me a special way of declaring war by effectively eliminating grievances. It's not, like proper eliminating, but it means I can sort of attack people and it really won't do much at all. Say I wanted to nab an Egyptian city or a couple of the Ottoman cities, but from Greece, Spanish Greece? We could take a few cities from Greece. I mean, these are very weak cities. How much have you got? Have you got great works? Yeah, some great works, huh? As long as I don't take the capital, it's all fine, really. I think it's too good an opportunity. Because of the scenario of the game, we've got to go to arms. And what I'm going to do is just pillage this and then offer peace. Do you want peace? Yeah, peace is given. You know what? It's ironic because you declared war on me, and I don't forget that, but I will leave you in peace, friend. And, oh, minus 20. Okay. Yeah, Hic Sunt Dracones would have been really useful for a Cyprus settle. I'm going to try the 16 because I think I can probably keep that one loyal. Otherwise, we are bringing my troops over to Greece. I think the Iberian Railroad is pretty much complete now. Look at that, connected up all of my continental cities. I'm just going to bring my military engineers over to Africa and do the same thing. I like railroads. Very satisfying. Means I can move my settlers around a lot quicker, and that alone is a reason to have them around. Oh no, what we're going to do? Okay, foment and rest. Sorry, that was not the main spy. That was somebody I'm just trying to level up, but every time I see that screen with spies, I just start rolling my eyes. I'm like, oh, come on. I'm just praying a few cavalry into existence at the moment to send them over to Greece. Yeah, I feel like just, as I say, we can do this with minimum grievances. I don't think the world is going to mind what I get up to. It says minus 17, but I don't believe it. I don't believe it at all. Yeah, look at that. Plus 11 now. Haha. Sometimes the game genuinely does that. If you are settling so far away from your own land that you don't get any loyalty pressure, it just doesn't quite calculate it properly. That is not a mod thing. That is a raw game thing. Burgosbo, my little Cypriot haven. Use this to spread my influence on the other side of the map. And annoyingly, Greece is still all southern Europe, but Asia, I can settle onto Turkey. Yeah, I really am squeezing any city I can into this area. Oh, look, the city of Calais. Sorry, but I'm here now. And again, this isn't my continent. I get all sorts of bonuses. It's Braga. Yay, we picked up another city. How is the lighthouse still broken? I did that in our combat. God, that's so long ago. Sometimes you do have to ask questions of the AI. You really do. Ferris wheels and aquariums. I love aquariums. The range of them is 9 tiles. So it's all of these cities that it hits just with +1 immunity. It's lovely. I'm just waiting though until my favorite civic in the game, professional sports. Oh, it's so good. However, we need a Casus Belli War. I never remember if the Golden Age War counts as one. Never remember at all. However, most important thing is, does my military ally want to get involved in this? God, you are at war with a lot of people still. How have you not met Gaul? What have you been doing this game? Okay, Rome wants to go to war with Greece. That feels fair. Okay, let's declare this thing. Only 25 grievances. If I can keep my total grievances below about 150, I'm going to be quite happy. Yep, nationalism boosted, so it did work. Amazing. Right, I'm going to just do a quick tour then of people and see who we can get involved. Ottomans. So Greece has just been declared on by Spain, the superpower in the sea, the Ottomans, their neighbor, and also Rome, their neighbor. Byzantium didn't want in for whatever reason. They could well be peace locked. That's probably the real reason. My aim, I think, is not to attack Athens, the capital, even though it does have Taj Mahal. Oh, that would be worth taking. No, my aim, I believe, is to go for Knossos first. I'll make a landing there, and logistics is fun, but we're going to put raid back on. After all, we have cavalry, and we're about to dump into Greece's land, so we might as well do that. It's really tempting to get general, but I think we're going to take that second well-awaited cardinal promotion, because I currently have 31 cities, and that should mean that I get 31 immunities, 31 culture, and 31 faith per turn. That's quite a nice boost. Oh yeah, 242 culture. That was like 20% boost. That's really good. 2,664 gold from Lisbon. Perfect. That is awesome. But I did just notice that Adam Smith gives me a governor. Oh, anyone that gives me a governor is a really, really good thing. John Jacob is next up. After John Jacob, we go to modern era. So I might as well just get you because, yeah, there we go. Mary Catherine Goddard is very expensive compared to everyone else. But I'm actually going to save up for that. That 8,000 faith, that's only 8 turns worth. And I can get an extra level of Diplo favor with everyone. I've got a spy on the way to Greece, by the way. So we should be able to improve that a little bit. Now the pillaging commences. Look at all this, and I can kill some units, blow up some boats, do some pillage, and my boats alongside Nelson, of all people, Nelson is going to lay siege. Oh, yeah. Okay, Knossos won't take much. That's pretty brutal. Alrighty, I've been doing a lot of thinking about 3 things in particular. First of all being my war with Greece. Now, whilst I've got Knossos blown to bits and defenseless, I'm thinking about my rules. I don't want to take more than 1 city in an empire per war. And looking at it, it's on my continent, so I can't really argue that this is a colony of some kind for both me or Greece. So I'd be stuck taking a single city. It's whether or not I want to occupy a city. And if I do, it needs to be a good city, like Mycenae or Athens would be better pickups purely because of the population. It means they've got more districts, it means they'd have a little bit more loyalty bonus. Or we could treat this war just as a pillaging raid, a very Norwegian-esque affair. We take 10 turns, we run away with no diplomatic consequence. We've only generated 25 grievances from going to this war. Nobody really cares that we're doing it. We run in, we privateer everywhere, we pillage everywhere, and then we run away. It's an option. It is an option, you know? I mean, Mausoleum is always worth taking, but that's in Sparta, which is the capital, and I don't want to take a diplomatic penalty. As you can see, we have managed to remove the Portuguese penalty right now. I like that. I want to keep that. So I'm not going to be taking Knossos. Instead, what I'm going to be doing is using this raid card. We're going to be running around with my units, doing an awful lot of damage to the economy of the city. I mean, look at this. We can do some proper pillaging here. This is lovely. These units are very, very overpowered for the task at hand. It's very overpowered. Nothing wrong with that. Garrett Gowan, in you go. Let's seize the settler if we can. Now that would be a handy pickup. And finally, a very special shout out goes to Glorious Petra, Matthew Wilkinson, Paul Coffey, Portland, Scott Stratton, Major King Kong, Davalex, Skeptical Bear, Alex Noob, Cinnamon Beard, Petra Ryan, Matthew Hatch, Rom88, Radiatore, Private Selection, Genoa Salami, Boyzoro, Callum Billy, Garrett Gowan, Polar Beret, El Truant, Creston, RB Hedged, Mushkin Mandletort, Esri Dax, Deeble Time, Shoelace, Burial, I'm Daft, Gooberman, Clint Hennis, Dr. Bobby, Polar Wallabear, Mixomatosis, NTG Golfman, Victor McPupster. Thank you everyone for your support. See you all in the next video. Goodbye!